trying desperately to paint me as a lunatic.
It was almost like getting to know oneself.
And I will say, I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
When I met her, she was this tour de force.
But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message.
It was like, I saw myself in her.
And I give you the opportunity to spike the ball to prove that I'm a lunatic, and you don't do it?
No, I didn't fall in love with her. I fell in love with a woman who gave so much of myself back to me.
No response. Now, I thought that the claim of the French Foreign Legion being involved in Charlie's assassination, I thought the FBI might be interested.
I was very willing to let myself fade and give glory to her.
No phone calls even from Utah's FBI branch.
You know, that's how I view our marriage in many ways.
Now, if you are, in fact, currently at this moment, the first man of France, that would be Brigitte Macron, and you are currently suing a podcaster in America named Candace Owens for defamation.
I was just thinking, by the way, that I really wouldn't recommend giving Candace the I Don't Care show, because there'll be something very exciting on the back of that before you can think about it.
Is perfected in our marriage, I would say. Yeah, the bombastic Americanism versus the retired English persona.
It's been a wonder on many people's minds, or at least, let me say, many good-thinking people's minds. Why is no one taking the threats on Candace Owens' life seriously? Is the White House taking this serious?
And a week later, this is the official White House response.
Is the world taking this serious?
People are saying that's totally crazy, right? People saying that I made it up.
But the most important question is the person who is allegedly in danger taking this seriously?
I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. By the way, is that on its face even plausible? Multiple agencies and multiple countries involved, from Egypt to Israel.
First of all, the first thing that raised some flags, why would you bring this to Twitter rather than taking it through the official channels? And many of us were still sitting on the fence and saying that probably she has taken it through the official channels because she herself is now telling us we should wait for the officials to tell us. And we were wondering, why wouldn't she take a plot to assassinate her to the FBI, to the official way? But she takes it to Twitter, and we said, okay, maybe she did. But she has since told us herself she did not use the official methods.
I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
And I was wondering, how will you take a threat in your life and not take it through the official channels?
But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message.
And what is the reason she actually posted this online? Even her own husband, before ever marrying her, knew she would be the type to post this on Twitter.
When I met her, she was this tour de force.
And I will prove that today. And today's video, I will show you also exactly why Candace Owens did not file an official report, what are the implications of what she did, and why will we now see her as the boy or girl who cried wolf too many times. Welcome back to the channel, my dear lovelies. If you are new to this village, we're a small community of individuals who just discuss important things that are making headways and also the real implications and ramifications of those social norms we are looking at, like just social media drama. These used to be taken seriously, but we now live in the Bolton era. So everything now is just chaos. If you're new, please subscribe, share the video, like the video, and if you don't like it, you're one of those people who hate hearing any slight criticism of Candace Owens. You can't stand it. You can't. This is the holidays, and I would like to spare you the stress, the drama. You're going through a lot enough already. You are already fearing for the life of your loved one, Candace, baby, that's what I mean. So I would not like to add more of it. It would be good if you just hit the unlike button and you hit the streets, okay? Bye. Wait, they're gone? All right, now let's move into it.
And in doing so, And that sounds sort of, well, I fell in love with myself. No, I didn't fall in love with, I fell in love with a woman who gave so much of myself back to me, you know, and I kind of, I was very willing to let myself fade and give glory to her. You know, that was kind of, that's how I view our marriage in many ways. Like
When I looked into Candace Owens' claims and I now heard her say she didn't file an official report, I remembered. Her own husband, when he met her, made a very impressive statement about her.
When I met her, she was this tour de force.
And that stuck with me for a while until now. It makes sense now. He said when he met her, she was this Twitter force. And I was wondering, her husband's first characteristics of why he was so enchanted by this foreign bombastic beauty was the Twitter force?
When I met her, she was this tour de force, you know, incredible mind, incredible beauty.
Then I remembered her husband was a member of the Bulletin Club, and he, just like many people who are enchanted by Candace Owens, are attracted, not only attracted, they love chaos. Candace Owens said it herself. She married her IQ.
I married the person that it made the most sense for me to marry. It was difficult for me to find a partner that was a challenge to me. You know, the challenge that I needed, whether you want to say like an academic challenge, whatever it is, with my same interests. It just was. What you will know, a lot of times people think that when people come together, it's because of how they look. Actually, I actually read this in a Thomas Sowell book, or maybe it was a Shelby Steele book. People tend to marry their IQ, which is interesting. You think like if you see two black people together, oh, it's because they are two black people, but actually they are probably better matched based on their IQ. It's a bonus that I also think that he's beautiful and gorgeous and handsome, but it really was about his mind.
It was almost like getting to know oneself in some ways. It was kind of a very strange experience. You know, it was like I saw myself in her.
Or we can put it, she married a man who will match her chaos. If you've not watched my video, the deep dive I did on the Bulletin Club and why Candace Owens is actually probably someone who is being used by her husband to peddle a lot of chaos through the transatlantic ocean, you should better watch that. It will be linked here below and you can watch that. It will be very enlightening to see that this very old retired looking man who is quiet and simple and speaks so soft, he is the master architect of the chaos.
It's always fun to be your wife's husband. I'm used to it now. So, I was just musing, by the way, that I really wouldn't recommend giving Candace the I don't care show. Because there'll be something very exciting on the back of that before you can think about it.
You see Candace Owens producing each and every day on her scripted, pre-recorded, alleged live shows. Candace Owens has said herself that she married her IQ equals to a chaos duo. Nothing wrong with that. Believe me, if you make your choice or characteristics that will make you choose a partner and you go for those who relate to you, it means you know what you want and you go for it. But then when that implies chaos and a lot of trouble to other individuals and especially citizens on the internet and also in real life, that is where we have to look into it and maybe, let's say, express the real ramifications of what happens and the importance that the world needs to recognize when it comes to the version of which show Candace and George Truman show will be playing in front of us at every point. Because what she has said Charlie Kirk's life was,
Whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show.
Probably is what she's delivering to her audience day in, day out. Now, I want us for the first now, whether you have believed her before or you did not, I want us to do a small exercise for the sake of this video. For a second, I want you to believe that Candace Owens' life was actually at risk. It was being threatened. Now, what is the real procedure for someone who is experiencing any kind of threat in such a manner? The first thing they will need to do is recognize the international ramifications of something like that, and especially of making claims about something like that. There is intelligence and threat assessments that have to go through the official procedure. There are step by step, okay? Something like she has to go through federal law enforcement to ensure that she really legally records this claim, giving the official proofs and evidence of what she claims were the reasons why she believed the threats against her life are real. She will have to recognize also there are diplomatic and foreign policy responses that need to be put in place, and also a national emergency if the threat is viewed as an unusual and extraordinary threat with its source outside the United States. I'm telling you, this is not something that the United States play with. If any citizen of America, I have seen situations where African countries with just normal, regular citizens of America, they put that country under tension if that citizen dares whispers that they are under threat, and they produce the little or the least evidence of that threat. The rate at which the American government usually responds to threats to American lives, it's usually very interesting. So I was very shocked when I was noticing that of Candace Owens didn't take that kind of route. I was wondering. Another thing that needs to be taken into strict procedure is the protection and security for the target, that is Candace Owens and her family. Because if an American is threatened, particularly in a credible or serious way, the US government, imagine all the relevant agencies might offer protection, possibly involve law enforcement, security services, and relocation depending on the risk, potential sanctions or broader actions, because we are talking about a foreign government daring to threaten not only the life of a US citizen, but a very, very important life of a US citizen, because she is the American bombastic person. That is not a quote from me. That is her hobby, okay? Because I know some of you are about to, why are you calling her? Calme-toi.
Is perfected in our marriage, I would say. Yeah, the bombastic Americanism versus the retired English persona.
Ce n'est pas moi qui a dit ça, c'est son mari. Donc, il faut calmer-toi, ok? Je vais parler un peu du français maintenant. Je sais que vous l'avez venu derrière et commencer que je suis français. Je ne suis pas français. Je n'aime pas les Macrons. Oui, spécifiquement, pas les Français. J'aime les Français. C'est pour ça que je parle français. Il y a un peu de petit romance entre nous et les Français. Mais je n'aime pas Emmanuel Macron et sa femme. Mais there are important things that these are things that are just a given. Now, what will someone in her position, okay, do? Because let's say that there is no public evidence that the French government has ordered that violence against her. But let's assume that there was the credible evidence. What would someone like her should have done? Contact the US federal authorities immediately. Threats from foreign officials are handled by the US government, not individuals. The correct agencies could be contacted, like the FBI, Department of State, Diplomatic Security, local police, and all of that. She claims that she contacted the counterterrorism, the FBI, and all. But this is the one thing she forgot to tell her friends.
But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
But she said it way into the video. She did not use any official source or do any official reporting.
But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message.
And I will tell you why Candace Owens did not do that official reporting. Because the whole time while she was talking about threats on her life, the whole time this girl was smiling. The only time I noticed her have real fear and concern on her face was when she was talking about making it up or something like that. You will see what I mean. Let's keep on going. Now, what else would she have done? Provision, okay? Provide all evidence. She should have gone to these federal agencies we are talking about, provided all evidence, relevant recordings, emails, post statements, or anything. Given she said she had a tipster from somewhere, she would have had to provide that evidence. Okay, this is the person who sent it, so that they can go through the chains and verify that information. Follow guidance from law enforcement, and those guidance include things that will keep her safe. Okay, something like situational awareness steps, avoiding unnecessary travels, adjusting public appearances, accepting official protection services if offered, especially in a situation when he's a French president. The French president can make you disappear while he's still thinking about the croissant he wants to have for breakfast. He could make you meh before he has his French kiss with his wife. So I don't understand why such a measure will not be taken by someone who is being threatened by the French president. Je ne comprends pas. C'est pour ça que j'étais un peu, c'est bizarre. Another thing this person should have done is increase basic personal security. But you know what Candy Baby was doing over the weekend? Allegedly, baby girl was hitting it up in Dollywood. Someone posted on X a picture of her with supposedly their daughter. Allegedly, Candace Owens was in Dollywood flexing. So if the French president, who we know can take out any president in Africa and many places, if they feel like the croissant they ate didn't feel right, why would you be moving around Dollywood taking pictures and smiling? Your face really looks like someone who is really living her best life after putting the internet on fire. After putting Twitter on fire, your husband said it best. There's Twitter force.
When I met her, she was this tour de force.
He saw the Twitter force, and the bulletin man in him jumped up and said, damn, if I always wanted chaos in the transatlantic sector, this is the perfect opportunity. Allegedly. Now, why is it that Candace Owens, why is it that bypassing these official reporting channels is a measure?
Now, in terms of formal replies that we received, the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
This is very important. This is the most important part of the entire rant she had yesterday on her show. But many of her fans who die for anything she says will miss this, because this is the important bit. And she left it way into the show after telling them before that she had reported this case and did not make the disclaimer she's about to make now. Before, this is what she said when she was talking about reporting this case to the FBI and everyone else. This is what she said.
Did I report it to the White House? Of course I reported it to the White House. Did I report it to the FBI? Of course I reported it to the FBI. Did I report it to our counterterrorism unit? Of course I reported it, because I'm telling you there's a paper trail. Common sense.
There is paper trail, and she said she reported it to all those 3 institutions. But do you know what she's about to say next? Listen to this and you see the pure deception in her own words.
Now, in terms of formal replies that we received from government structures, the only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism unit. I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk, me saying that I had the information. I guess he didn't want to inquire further, which is interesting. But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
That right there. Did you notice that when she was discussing that she had made a report with the FBI before, she never mentioned that she just probably sent them a text message?
But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message.
She did not say that she did not actually send them an official message, which she should have done in the first place. She just sent them a text message. And that is not an official statement. And she knows why she did not send an official statement, because an official statement would have required her to give real proof, real evidence of the set assassination plot on her. And she knew she had nada. And she knew that one important thing, listen carefully, filing a false report officially can put her in the crosshair of something. Listen to when she's talking about maybe that thing that she made it up, and you will see exactly why she did not file a report. That is the only time I see fear in her, because when she's talking about my assassination, Charlie's assassination, you see a grin, she's smiling, she's relaxed. She doesn't look like someone who is scared for her life. But the moment she's discussing, oh, did they think she made it up because she wanted clicks and views, because it could imply something? Listen and see watch her, because she is slowly realizing, just like she realized while she was on air, that she did not verify the information regarding the person who was next door to her attorney's office, that she had been punked. This is her realization moment again, that oopsie, maybe I am trying to trigger something that I will not be able to stand for.
Did I report it to the White House? Of course I reported it to the White House. Did I report it to the FBI? Of course I reported it to the FBI. Did I report it to our counterterrorism unit? Of course I reported it, because I'm telling you there's a paper trail. Common sense. You think I'm just doing that because I'm assuming you could get a felony for making something up out of thin air like that? You can't just use United States resources to go after somebody in a plot that never existed that you did for clicks on YouTube. So what's the issue here?
What you just realized there, and what she realized by saying that she did this, do they think she did this for clicks on YouTube? Is because she just realized that her doing this for clicks on YouTube is what is going to burn and hurt her. Because she is realizing if she had dared file that report, it would have been a felony. And that is why she did not file an official report. I tell you, tell Candace Owens, she has the evidence, right? Tell her to dare go through the official channels, file that official report if she believes it. Many of her fans, some of them went through to the FBI to file reports saying that this person's life is in danger, but because they did not have the proof or anything, they couldn't go through with anything, or some of them went through. But then she has to come in and file an official report. Can someone be criminally charged for falsely claiming a foreign president ordered violence against them? In most cases, no. Not for simply saying it, which is why she ended at saying it. The US generally does not criminally charge people just for making unproven statements about foreign officials unless certain specific crimes are involved. Someone could face legal trouble only if their statements meet criteria for actual crimes, such as 1. Filing a false police report or false federal statement. The reason Candace Owens sent a text message to an FBI authority or someone high up in the FBI, like she just said, is because she knows that if she files a false police report or false federal statement, this is illegal, okay? But it only applies if the person formally reported the claim to law enforcement.
The FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
Since Candace Owens reportedly did not submit an official FBI report, she just said it herself. She did not trigger this law. And she knew that if she formally sent that complaint through the FBI chain, she would have triggered that law. She would have triggered an investigation if she formally filed that complaint. And that is why they left her on what?
Well, first let me say I did not at all hear back from the FBI.
Of course, she did not hear from the FBI because she did not file an official report, okay? Since she did not file that official report, it cannot trigger a law for them to investigate, first of all, the claim before even deciding whether it is true or false. So why is she now gaslighting and lying to her fans, saying that they did not reply, they did not say anything, as if what she did was something that required them to reply? Example, if you require someone who is in danger to run into a certain building for rescue, and that person is out in the street playing with flowers, do you assume they are in danger just because they are standing outside the building that is supposed to be for refuge? No, they are outside playing with flowers. They are not running into the building. You don't see them in tension. You don't see them stressed out. She was in the Dollywood having fun, the time of her life. She is on her show giggling and grinning as if nothing is happening. She looks like somebody who is having the time of her life, who just experienced a weekend of setting the world on fire, and she and her husband just toast a glass of water or champagne or whatever the drink. She says she doesn't drink alcohol a lot. So whatever she and her man drinks, they must have toasted a bottle of it while her husband smoked a cigar and hid in the corner where he always hides away from her so that he can think about the next thing he can bring for his Twitter force.
She was this tour de force.
That is why she did not. Defamation is another reason why she did not. A foreign leader could sue for defamation, but it is extremely rare. Heads of states mostly never sue private citizens. US laws gives very strong protections to free speech. Public figures face a high bar to prove actual malice. So while it is not possible, it is realistic, okay? She did not file that report because she knew that if she filed it, there will be an official investigation. Sending someone a text message is not triggering any official information. And she has said it here that she should have done an official, but you know what? That statement will fly over her fans' heads like water dropping on a duck's back, because none of them think for a second. Because even I, who is not versed with the American system and law, I knew that it could not just be that someone just says on Twitter that I am in danger and they just sit. No, there must be a way for them to find out how to get themselves safe. And it took me nothing. It took me less than 5 minutes to realize what she actually needed to do. And she wants to tell me that she has lived all 35 or 6 years of her life in the US and she does not know how to secure herself. And she is the number one podcaster in the world, which implies that definitely there will be some kind of crazy fans who will be out there, especially given the kind of rhetoric she's out here pushing. She would definitely push a lot of people towards extremes, especially people who are not mentally fine. We have already had a case of someone who, when her committing an act of violence, wrote her in a memorandum and said she is an inspiration for that act. And he followed her on Twitter or X. So I don't know why she keeps playing as if her fans or those following her are just imbeciles. But I guess she understands that. That's why she plays in their face so easily, because it required her to just file a simple report with the FBI. But she sent them a text message. You all, before you come under my comment section to say kink, before you say pim, make sure you go tell Candace Owens to file an official FBI report, because that is the real thing. And she just said it herself. She should have filed an official FBI report. But our Twitter force is not about to file an official FBI report. Not when we have Twitter.
This tour de force.
Her husband's first characteristic when he saw this American foreign beauty, this bombastic beauty, was she's a Twitter force.
This tour de force.
Okay? And she said it, married my IQ. IQ plus Twitter force equals to bulletin playbook plus all the chaos. Imagine what America and the world will be going through. And they're already going through a lot because of this lady. So why would someone not file an official report with the FBI? Here are a few reasons for those of you who are still wondering. Now, to be fair, if you have no evidence, you cannot file an FBI report. But she has claimed, if she did not claim that she did not have any evidence, we will not be saying that, okay, girl, you have to file that report. Because definitely to file that report, you require showing the evidence. And that evidence does not require that you show them saying in a video that, oh, we are going to kill the candy. No. If she has the report, the official tipster or whoever sent her that tip and say, okay, this is what is going on, she can take it to the FBI and say, hey, this is the situation. If the person feels unsure about the claim, I'm sure she feels unsure about that claim, which is why she has not filed it. Or if in the moment that person is exaggerating it, maybe it's just some crazy person who sent her a crazy mail and she's now taking it to become the French president, because why not just tie the French president into it and tie it to Charlie Kirk's assassination and tie it all around you so that it can be about me, 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 me. I will want us to do a contest between Candace Owens and Meghan Markle, and the subject matter is me, 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 and I want to see which of them will go pro max on it, because both of these ladies, they know how to drag everything to mean only them. So some people avoid filing those official reports because they know that if they are wrong, they don't want the legal consequences of it. And the reason number 2 why you not file a legal complaint is because social media is easier. And to be fair with her, if she thought she had a real threat on her life, but she couldn't have the real evidence to prove it, yes, she could have done the social media thing. But this is where you take someone who is serious from another person who is not serious. Because besides coming to social media to complain and document it, she would have had to do a few things. Provide even the slightest way of protecting herself, documentation, or avoid interviews, okay? Providing any means of indicating, okay, this is the situation. Now, another thing she should have done as somebody who is taking her life serious is avoid posting on social media to make sure that she keeps herself safe. X has already been made in a way that wherever you post or whatever, it shows your location or something like that. Doesn't she think it was rather wise for her to have stayed home or avoided or find a location that is secure for her and her family and avoid all of this drama? Do you think if you're a mother of 4 kids, 4 beautiful kids you pushed 4 beautiful times, you will be playing this kind of reckless games if you think your life was truly in danger? Because if someone wants to hurt you, they don't try to hurt you. They hurt your loved ones. You think someone, a mother of 4, will be playing this kind of dangerous games if she actually thought her life was at risk? I'm asking you all. And some people will avoid the public attention, okay? Avoid it. Yes, she can come online and talk about it so that she makes the public aware of it, to also tell her supporters about it, and also to control the narrative. But then, after making such a claim and knowing your life is truly in danger, there are things you have to ensure so that you know that you are okay. Make sure that you keep yourself safe, not roaming around the streets of Dollywood or wherever she was, where people were taking selfies with her. That's not someone who really fears for her life. Not having a full-blown podcast in less than a week. She was not out scared. No, she was not. And not coming here to challenge them and tell them why they did not contact her.
And this is what we do every week, right? We're hamsters on a wheel. And so we're back to that again, right? People saying that I made it up. But what did the French couple do? That's what matters. It's now been a full week since I made that announcement. And here is the official response issued by the Élysée Palace. Nothing. Nothing. I want you to bear in mind that this was front page global news from the United States to Russia.
Let me tell you the real reason why Candace Owens posted that thing on Twitter, and she said it in her show, but unfortunately, it will slide over so many of her followers' minds. It is because of the views. Oh, you think I'm lying? Good. Here we go.
I want you to bear in mind that this was front page global news from the United States to Russia. A claim which has gone viral. When I say viral, I mean just the tweet alone had over 100,000 retweets and 45 million impressions on X alone, okay?
This tour de force.
The next reason why she dropped it is because she was baiting the Macrons, baiting the White House, because they have been ignoring her for a while. And she said it even on her show. She didn't like the fact that they ignored her.
Now, if you are, in fact, currently at this moment, the first man of France, that would be Brigitte Macron, and you are currently suing a podcaster in America named Candace Owens for defamation, for telling the truth, right? And the story that you are trying to sell to the public is that you were really deep down in your heart, you really believe that you are a woman and Candace is just crazy and desperate for clicks and willing to defame you for money. Then Candace Owens publicly proclaiming and accusing you of something directly implicated in her assassination.
Honey, what she does is exactly the method she used in the first one. Legal methods, legal channels. Sue you, dummy. Why would she respond to you on the social media where she knows you are baiting her for clicks, views, and money? Sometimes she explains the truth in her explanation, but what am I talking about? They will never, ever get it, because at this moment, they are in tune to every cuckoo she releases. It doesn't matter how stupid, how nonsensical it sounds, they will eat it up like it's turkey on Thanksgiving. And you know what? We're here for it.
This would be your unique opportunity as the French first man to prove your case about Candace to the public, right? In the court of public opinion. This would be your time to slam dunk.
Unfortunately, many social media influencers have made it so much that many people think that cases of legality are now sorted on social media. Many individuals now solve their financial, legal, and other formal problems on social media, which has made a generation that feels or believes that things like that should be sorted on social media. No, honey, it's not a case of social media court. It's a case of the legal, formal system. Go by it and stop trying to dismiss that lawsuit. You begged for it. It is on your front porch and we want you to face that music, honey. Stop running. Stop running, Candy.
So using that logic, wouldn't this be the opportunity, if you're the French couple, to come out and to prove your point, to make a stunning and a swift statement, right?
She is so delusional that she would tell her fans that it's not only about them. She wants them not only to make a statement, she will go about even giving them the kind of statements they should make. I think that Candy Baby feels that because George Farmer gives her the statements she makes on X as the X queen that she is to her husband, she believes that she can also now redirect some of the messages George is sending to her to the First Lady of France and her husband to make a statement on social media when she comes and defames them on murder. Like it's no man's business. She lives in Cuckooland, Candyland, yeah.
We are shocked by the accusation. Of course, never in a million years. Oh, we told you guys, this is just for clicks, it's for money. This is beyond anything we've ever heard. I hope Candace gets well soon. That would be what I would say you should do if I'm advising you from a PR standpoint.
And if that is the advice you will be giving anyone for PR or from a PR standpoint, anyone who still receives advice from you, you know where you are, right? Yeah, you're digging your own grave with your own hands.
Dollars in legal fees, investigative fees, and PR fees in a country on the other side of the Atlantic, trying desperately to paint me as a lunatic, and I give you the opportunity to spike the ball to prove that I'm a lunatic, and you don't do it?
Thing they did, honey, in a very classy way, but you will not recognize it because you're used to a lot of Twitter chaos. In the words of your husband, Twitter force. But what do I know? I'm just a 2,000 follower guy. So let's leave it to the millionaire follower people, yeah?
No, they didn't do it, did they? If you've been paying attention, they did not do it.
Went as far as robbing in the Tyler Robinson lawyer.
But what did the French couple do? That's what matters. It's now been a full week since I made that announcement. And here is the official response issued by the Elysee Palace. Nothing. Nothing. I want you to bear in mind that this was front page global news from the United States to Russia.
And I want you to bear in mind that this is one of the only few times when she was on her podcast when she showed real anger. And her anger is not that they were trying to hurt her. No, when she was talking about the assassination claims on her or on Charlie, she was grinning, she was smiling, she was in love with the idea. But when she was talking about the ignoring of her, how they ignored her, left her on red, crickets everywhere, look at her face. She is pissed. She hates it. She doesn't like that. She baited and they ignored her. Me. Meghan, I think you have someone who is going to give you a run for your money. And I said to myself, if I am Tyler Robinson's lawyer and I know for a fact that you know who did this act, who hurt Charlie, and it is not my client, wouldn't I run to you to get that evidence? The only two logical reasons is either I am working to hurt my client, which I don't think any lawyer does that. Lawyers are supposed to fight for their clients, right? Or it is because I don't take you serious. I don't want to damage the case. Person running this case has put a gag order on a lot of people. I heard there were over 1,000 people, which implies even the lawyer who is representing Tyler Robinson is under that gag order. No, you want him to ruin his professional career the way you decided to ruin yours by staking your entire professional career on a claim you had no real tangible evidence for. I'm not saying there are no suspicious things about the Macrons. There are. I have a lot of things I am really pissed about. First of all, a 39-year-old woman going after a 15-year-old child will always be a bingo fat red bombing alarm. I don't care about all the Meghan R. Kellys in the world who want to tell us that an adult going after a 15-year-old is okay. That is wrong. But then if you're making that bold claim that this woman was a man, and also that probably there are some alleged links of family, so it means that there is some incest going around and all that kind of thing linked to this and that, honey, make sure you have the real backings for it. But you had no backings for all of these claims. And you have been out here screaming, calling the Macrons every 2 to 3 minutes. And that's why they kept amending their lawsuit. The Macrons have amended their lawsuit. If you've not seen the docket, I did a video just 2 or 3 days back reading the full case docket, how many times they've amended that lawsuit, plus the final whatever this motion to dismiss Candace Owens had, which all of it was about crying about how Delaware. But when she was online playing tough, playing big girl, she did not remember that it was filed in Delaware. Suddenly she's in her lawsuit crying about how it is because it's filed in Delaware. That's why she doesn't want to go forward. She wants it to be dismissed. But when you were out there playing big girl, you said you knew for a fact that the woman is a man. You knew for a fact you could stake your entire professional career that the fact that now suddenly her lawyers are now writing it's just an investigative journalist in her basement producing an opinion base, but that woman never said opinion base. Go read those things before you come and complain. But the unfortunate thing is this, most of the people who follow her don't check anything. It's the same like when the Macrons came and said they were to present scientific evidence that Macron is in fact or indeed a woman. She came to her show and lied. The article was there saying that they are two.
Federal operation out of nowhere. Brigitte Macron just lies. I don't even know how they got this in the press. This is so dumb. Brigitte Macron comes out and says they have offered scientific evidence to the U.S. court to prove that Brigitte is a woman. That's what her lawyer says. Well, the lawyer's a liar because we haven't even started this case yet.
I don't know. She keeps claiming she understands English, but I am not American. People like to make fun of my English, but I understand that to present, we are going to present means that we will present it in future, not that we have presented. She came to her show and said, oh, the Macrons out of nowhere came and lied that they have presented the scientific evidence. The case even hasn't started. Ma'am, she knew that most of her followers will not go to check the document, to check the newspaper, to check whatever that thing was that she said. She referred the BBC article there, but she did not even care to read it. It's the same like she keeps claiming that the Macrons are not suing her for saying that Brigitte changed from woman to man to woman. Meanwhile, that is one of the things they are complaining about. But she will come and lie in front of her people, and most of them don't care to check the documents to see, okay, what is going on here? They only listen to her, and if she tells them, listen, green leaves are now brown, they'll say, yes, queen. If your name is Joseph, you are now James, you say, yes, queen. Because Candace said it. No need checking my birth certificate. No need checking my identity. No need asking my mama. Mama, what name you gave me? No, Candace said it's James. It's no longer Joseph. And that is gospel. I am really sad for the kind of generation we are developing. She has said one thing that is very interesting and impressive. Her husband recently had a talk where he was talking about the effects of social media. And at times, there are things that her husband says that I think many people need to pay attention to.
I was just musing, by the way, that I really wouldn't recommend giving Candace the I don't care shirt. Because there'll be something very exciting on the back of that before you can think about it.
A lot of people are depending on social media influencers, social media to give them every answer. No one cares to flip open a book, a newspaper, or read any reference to look into it and see what someone is saying. Look at it in reference to what documents are actually there to say, okay, is this true or not? It's the same like what I say. Don't listen to anything I say. I always present the evidence there. I will tell you what she said. This is what she said, and I'll play the video. Sometimes I don't have the time to look for it because I am just exhausted listening to her. But then, with everything I say, check it back. If I tell you my name is allegedly Nemo, I need you to refer it. Check. I could be lying. It is time that many people, individuals, start fact-checking things diligently. Because if people were fact-checking things, more than half of the people following her would have seen so many loopholes already. Because I know there is always going to be a population that it doesn't matter if she comes out and tell them, I killed your mama, they're going to say, I love you, queen. There are just those people. That is why we had people who were writing love letters to serial killers in jail, because there are just some people whose sense of judgment, whose minds have been blown to a point where whatever they fell in love with or like, you can't change their mind. You can change only yours. And you have to work towards it by checking everything. Double check, fact check. If someone tells you that the French flag has been changed, don't just sit there and tell your neighbor, hey, the French flag has been changed. It is now red, blue, green. No, go fact check it. Is it changed actually? Because there are a lot of things Candace will say on her show which are lies. None of it is true. She will just make them out of thin hairs. Woo! And everybody listens to it because, Candace said it. And when you want to fact check her or tell the people, this is not the truth, they'll tell you she has 7.4 million followers. Who are you? Because according to the modern age, this day and age we live in, professionalism, truth no longer matters. What matters to so many people is how popular, how rich someone is. That is the only thing that matters to them. If you're just some low life somebody with your 1,000 followers and you're telling them, hey, black is black and white is white, how dare you? When the Queen told us black is white, how dare you? There is something Candace Owens did towards this time again, as she has always done.
And I publicly challenged the Candace is making everything up crowd to prove it. Press the White House for a response, right? The White House the ball's very firmly in their court. And a week later, this is the official White House response.
She makes a big claim, then flips the burden of proof onto others. And it's the same damn thing she did this time. But unfortunately, many people will not still get it. You know why? She has worked on this art. If you've not watched her media playbook, which I did like a month ago, go watch it on my channel, Candace Owens Media Playbook. It is easy for you to understand it. And if you really want to grasp the full package that is Candace Owens, watch her Bulletin Club association with her husband, George Farmer. Also on the channel, I did that. I posted it last week. I need you to understand what you're dealing with so that if you're continuing with it just for entertainment, it is fine. But I would like us to understand the George Candace Truman show you're watching. So you don't go around hurting your feelings, defending individuals you know nothing about. Some of you defend her, I'll be wondering if you birthed them.
Firmly in their court. And a week later, this is the official White House response. So what are we to make of that, you guys?
Candace Owens has the game of bait and switch, and she does it so well all the time. And if you dare to reply to her when she baits you, she is going to use that reply to say, you see, guys, I told you, they're lying. And if you ignore her, she will still say, you see, guys, they didn't say a word. They think I'm lying or they're lying. When she mentioned that the letter that was sent by Charlie Kirk allegedly to Bibi Netanyahu was grossly representing that letter. She baited them to release the letter. What did they do? They released the letter. And when the contents of the letter came out to be clearly a love letter from Charlie Kirk to the Israelites or Israeli government, telling them exactly the plans, the blueprints of how to socially and other ways influence the Americans into supporting Israelites or the Israelite government, what did Candace do? She just started acting all weird and she dropped it like a hot potato. Why has she not debunked or said, no, the contents of the letter is fake or no, she has just ignored that one. You know why? Because they fell for her bait. And the same thing with this one with the French government. When she said it, she wanted a reaction. And the reaction was silence, and that is hurting her also because either ways, respond or not, she is going to use it. But you know what I prefer as the best response to her? Silence. Erika Kirk has mastered it, and I think the French government, Macron and Brigitte, have learned the psychology of a woman like Candace Owens and they used it against her. This is my theory. And everything is alleged in this video. In case I've not said it before, even my name is allegedly Nemo. You remember the tweet, the information they sent her regarding planes and stuff, whatever, which she read online, and she realized only while reading it that her office, her lawyer's office address is in that building. I believe that was the first test of let's see how much this girl fact checks anything. They sent it to her. She came online and lied that she has checked it across multiple agencies. If she fact checked that thing across multiple agencies, she would have realized that her lawyer's office is in that building. And she would have made it clear, hey, my lawyer's office seems to also be in this building. She did not. She just, she said, I fact checked it all across multiple stations, multiple agencies, and she read it. At the end of the day, nada. That thing went down the drain. And that is why she had to flip into another thing. I think that was the first test. Let's see if she will fall for it. And she fell for it like a smutching rat looking for trash in the rubbish of New York City. Okay? And then they said, you know what? She is a go. And someone, I believe, slipped that so-called French alleged assassination plot onto her, knowing that she has no urgency to check it, to refer it, to even look into it if it makes any valid points, because she is hungry for chaos and she and her husband will cling onto any iota, atom of anything that can give them ammunition to go online and cause chaos. It's the Bullington playbook. They go into a restaurant, eat there, destroy everything, and then throw money at it and leave. And if anything ever comes back to bite them, they have a way out of it because no consequence will ever meet them. That is not all. People died in the chaos of the Bullington Club members. But do you know what? Most of them, in fact, none of them ever get any kind of consequences for their actions. And when they saw that that was a go, they sent her the so-called assassination plot, knowing she would pick it. As she picked it, she and her husband sat on it, ate it and they dropped it like it's hot. Now, she knew that she required going in, filing in an official report, and which she could have avoided by telling us, hey, I don't trust the government. But this is the problem. After telling us all week that she doesn't trust the government and telling us that there is an assassination plot on her life, she again, by herself, came and told us that her show will be off at the air this week. Okay? And as an update, both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what I reported publicly, that they have received the rubbish she sent. But unfortunately, she did not file in an official report. And then she said something that was very intriguing, especially to many people, because she has been saying that you can't trust the feds. And then she said, for all of you who doubted my claims, you can now look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether I am telling the truth. Candace, bold claims require bold proof, and you cannot just make those claims without proof. Okay, let's assume that you couldn't give us, the lay people on the internet, the proof that someone is trying to assassinate you. Why didn't you go through the legal channels and send the proof? This is an official report I'm filing. This person is after my life, just for documentation's sake, giving you claim, because you can't tell us we can't trust them, and then the next minute you tell us we should wait for them to confirm that what you have said is the truth. And you now shift the burden of proof onto them. No, you made a claim. They did not. You made a claim. So if you want them to offer us the proof or to show us that what you have said is true, file an official report, ma'am, and then they will investigate, find out if it's the truth or not, and let's determine whether you're going to be facing a felony or not. I don't know how her lawyers do it, but she has got to be one of the most difficult claims the difficult clients to have. And now she says that the government is not responding
in their court. And a week later, this is the official White House response.
This shifts attention away from her lack of proof. It shifts the attention from her lack of formal reporting, and it also shifts the responsibilities to substantiate the claim from her to the government. And that is a special tactic Candace Owens and her Burlington Club husband George Farmer have developed, perfected, and they are using it. He said it. The moment he saw that Twitter force, he knew.
It was almost like getting to know oneself in some ways. It was kind of a very strange experience. You know, it was like I saw myself in her. And in doing so, and that sounds sort of, well, I fell in love with myself. No, I didn't fall in love with her. I fell in love with a woman who gave so much of myself back to me, you know, and I kind of, I was very willing to let myself fade and give glory to her. You know, that's how I view our marriage in many ways. Like I'm very happy to take a secondary position to give glory to her. You know, I'm far less politically involved now than I was because she's much more politically involved than I ever could be. When I met her, she was this tour de force, you know, incredible mind, incredible beauty. I was so willing to just be enraptured to her. And that was really what took place in those kind of 17 days was the fact that I was amazed.
That would be my woman. She would be beside me as I caused this transatlantic chaos.
She was this tour de force.
Why has she not filed the official report? I have given you all the reasons. The emotional and performative aspect of online platforms. Sometimes people react emotionally, misinterpret information, or share things in the heat of emotion, right? Then afterwards, they don't want to double down with a legal report. They don't want to retract publicly. That one is going to burn. They prefer to let the claim to fade out. So they leave the accusation hanging without evidence. But then, when a story like this one is allowed without evidence, there is no official report, she still comes on to claim now that she wants the FBI to follow up on a case she has not officially filed. You sent a text message, ma'am. If you send me a text message, even in workplaces, normal people who work in offices in any legal place of work, you know for a fact that sending your boss a text message telling them I'll not be at work on Monday is not an official reporting. You send an official email to the HR, okay, to the right people that are supposed to record that, to say, okay, this person will not be at work at this time. I don't know if it is just too strange for people to realize that you have official things. There are official and legal ways to document any event. If it is filing in your office, you have the HR or whichever official way to indicate an incident. If something happens in the office, someone slapped you, you don't just go around sending text in your group chat and say, I sent a report. No, you didn't. Send an official statement through HR. Who saw it? Did someone see when the slap occurred? If someone did not see, it was just the two of you, do you still have the slap mark on your face? Do you have anything? What is the evidence you have? You send it up the chain of command so that it can be investigated. Having a group thread with where you chat with your friends about it, or you send it to an FBI, someone who is a higher up, is just a text chain for people to talk, laugh about while they're having dinner, ma'am. If you want to say you sent an official thing, she said it herself. I'm not the one. She didn't file an official report, and she knows why.
But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
If the FBI doesn't respond, if the White House doesn't respond, if the people she accused do not respond, it can make the claim look less grounded. Not filing a report avoids official contradiction, and that is why she did not. She just wants to let it fade away. But if she was smart, she would let it fade. But she can't, because she has to come out and dance kumbaya to her fans to tell them, hey, oh, tough girl here.
Now, in terms of formal replies that we received from government structures, the only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say, I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism unit. I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk, me saying that I had the information. I guess he didn't want to inquire further, which is interesting.
We are fighting against the system. This girl is not fighting against any system. She is the system. People used to think that, oh, the old government used to be the people lying to them. It is now your favorite influencers who are lying to you through their teeth. They smile at you, collect your money, and lie to you without any kind of regret, thought, remorse, because what you are to them is just part of the show. And the day you drop out, they move on to the next grift because some of them don't care what happens to you. The inconsistencies, no evidence, vacation, no official steps make a lot of this thing look untrue. When this thing came out, I was one of the people who said, no, if this is serious, please, the government needs to take it serious. But now, after looking at all the facts, she herself have said it. She didn't file an official report. She knows why. She doesn't want to catch a felony. Why? In the midst of a whole international lawsuit with a president and his wife. She knows better. So that's why she left it on a Twitter and Instagram page where she was directing people. And the funny thing is, she directed us to her Instagram page. 1 minute Brigitte Macron was a German, 1 minute she's French, the next minute she's Israeli Mossad. Ma'am, pick a nationality for the woman you said changed from man to woman. Pick a nationality. Or you're trying to tell us that she's all of those things. Let us know. Because you can't tell me in one post, oh, she's Israeli, the next minute she is German. Lady, the fact that someone believed that she was genuinely in danger with her 4 kids and husband, and especially given that a foreign president wanted to harm her, and they did not contact law enforcement officially, did not seek protection. She's still having a podcast. She was ranting over Twitter the whole weekend. Oh, his ex. She was seen out and about, taking photos with people in Dollywood. She didn't seek any kind of protection. She didn't temporarily reduce her public appearances, did not provide any evidence neither to the public nor to the official government officials, because she didn't want to file a report because she knew she would require sending that evidence. Did not avoid any leisures, didn't take the claim seriously. What did I start by saying? Why is the White House not taking us seriously? She has not taken herself seriously.
I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
She was this tour de force.
And let's take a very deep look into this woman's psychology. Let's assume that what she wanted was for these people in these agencies to answer her claims so she can secure her life and prove that she is not all right and she needs verification. She has said it here.
Now, in terms of formal replies that we received from government structures, the only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism.
Counterterrorism replied to her. She heard from them, right? If she was in real danger and they spoke to her, don't you think there would be an investigation ongoing now? Probably she heard from them, they heard from her, and they told her, file an official complaint so we can start an investigation, and she did not. Because ask her why, after she heard from the counterterrorism, she's worried why she did not hear from Trump.
I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk.
She doesn't need to hear from Trump. There's something called delegation of power. A president delegates work to different ministers and different people in different departments. You don't expect the president to leave his office where he has to be having the great deals and signing the big, beautiful bills he has been writing to come now and be fighting counterterrorism and threats on your life. That is the job for the FBI and the counterterrorism. Now, If you had filed in an official report with the FBI, probably they'll reply to you. You did not. But at least counterterrorism wrote to you, right?
I did hear back from the counterterrorism.
You say you have evidence of who ended Charlie's life, which means you could have submitted it to counterterrorism and say, hey, this is a thing because this was done by a French legionnaire, as she claims.
Me saying that I had the information, I guess he didn't want to inquire further.
Why didn't she? She did not, because she is seeking attention from the President of the United States, the President of France and his wife, as well as attention from the onlookers who were watching her post, all millions of them, which she was so proud. Because if she was genuinely in danger, she had one of these agencies reach out to her, the counterterrorism. She heard from them. And then she said something that she has not heard from the FBI from this side of America.
The only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say, I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side.
Probably meaning she has heard from another FBI or something, and she's not talking about, because she said something about FBI of a certain place. If you did not hear from the FBI at all, then probably. So you sent a text message to the FBI, not an official report. You sent another message to the counterterrorism. The counterterrorism replied to you and said, okay, sought a method to help you, right? Why do you require Trump's attention if it is not that you are seeking attention? Ask yourself those questions. Those are valid questions. When you answer those questions, if you're a mother of 4 kids and you are truly in danger with your kids, your family, and you are looking for help, counterterrorism reach out to you, you will not find a way to help them so that they can help you back. You will sit there on your high horse saying, why don't the president write to me? Bullshit. She has not taken this claim seriously. Her behavior, her actions have not matched the claims she has been dropping. And it has been the same thing, the kumbaya with all this Charlie Kirk investigation. It is either one thing or the other. And she drops them all like a hot potato until she finds a thread to hang on to. She keeps going, one person after the other, one thing after the other, one theory after the other. Right now, she said while she was claiming that the French were trying to end her, that the president of France, the French legionnaire, were the people who ended Charlie Kirk's life. And if you have such evidence, right? You claim you have that evidence. Why don't you file an official report? This is the person who did it. This is the thing. Why is she still carrying on that investigation she's been carrying on for 2 months? Because she's still there talking about Egyptian planes and all the grammar up here, the Ripley, they were doing a Cam Riley, Cam Ripley, Cam this. Why has she not filed an official report saying, officially, I am saying the French legionnaire killed Charlie Kirk. This is the evidence I have for it. She's sitting there and saying that they should contact her. Ma'am, you're lying. If you knew for a fact your life was in danger, even if you don't trust the officials, just for the sake of courtesy or for the sake of putting it official to make sure that there is a chain of investigation to prove it either wrong or right, you would have filed an official report. And if you knew that the French legionnaire ended Charlie's life and you have not filed an official report to say it, you are lying. No, she baits and switches the burden of proof now to the French, because suddenly she wants to make it sound like she is out here being the hero of the streets. Oh, Robin Hood. Robin Hood. The behavior is not working. It's not looking like someone who is claiming that you can't trust the authorities, but you should trust her. Okay? The White House or the FBI cannot, listen again, they cannot respond to every public claim. Okay, let me make a claim. George Farmer killed Charlie Kirk. Do you expect the White House to respond to that? Or is it because I don't have 10 million followers that the White House should? No, if I want to make that thing stick, I have to go in, file a report and tell them, this is why I say so, this is why I think so, because I know for a fact I'm not lying. But the reason I will not make that report right now is because I know I am not telling the truth. I have no evidence of it. And that is why Candace Owens did not. FBI, White House, do not, I say again, do not respond to public claims, or at least every public rant made in the open, to confirm, deny, or investigate an influencer's tweet. No, they don't do that. Okay? They do not comment on allegations without evidence. They don't. It is the truth, and Candace knows it. But she will come on her platform and pretend to her audience like the authorities or the White House should be commenting on every nonsense influencers put on out there. It is not the normal format. It is not the truth. They don't get involved in disputes unless an official report exists. Like I've said before, if you are in danger, you don't stand outside giggling in the flower garden. You run to the place of rescue. You run somewhere to find a way to save yourself. But you know what? I think it is better to blame the authorities, to deflect the common pattern of deflection that she has been carrying on. They have no evidence. They fear the consequences of making a false report. She's exaggerated emotionally, misunderstood something, or wants public attention. She says it, not me. She says it as if she's saying that she does not what she wants, but that's exactly what she's saying. So they will do what? Shift the blame to the government won't respond. Why won't the White House say something? Why don't the FBI confirm my story? Because they do not confirm the rants of influencers. Do you know how many influencers are online with millions of followers larger than Candace Owens who are making outlandish claims every day? Do you think that if the White House or the FBI were to spend government resources on doing that, you think they will have any money left to send off to wherever country they are sending it off to, or to help the Americans? That's not how the legal, they call it legal structure of a country works. And she knows it. That's why she said she has not filed in a legal.
Now, in terms of formal replies that we received from government structures,
legal. And that's why she said there has not been any legal response, because she did not make a legal complaint.
And I will say, I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that.
She made a rant on social media, and she made a rant on Twitter, and she sent a couple of text messages to an official. Let me ask all of you, if you want to file in an official report and you work in any company, any place, do you send a tweet? Or do you send a tweet on social media, or do you send a text message to your boss? No, you file in by sending in an email with the official channel of that company where you work in. You know why she wouldn't do it? She knows the consequences of filing a false report. Anyway, guys, like I've said, the Twitter force and the IQ man are causing transatlantic chaos using the Burlington Club report. And that media playbook is good. I must hand it to them. It is very effective and good, because when you try to say the truth about it, I'm sure after saying all of this, after explaining all of the legal formalities of why she didn't file that official report, there will still be individuals under here who will be telling me rubbish. Because you know what? Why look into the truth when you can just insult someone's accent, insult the number of followers they have, or talk about why they will never be Candace Owens? And honey, just for disclaimer's sake, I will never want to be Candace Owens. I never, ever want to be her. Okay? I want to be a wonderful human being, not that chaotic mess. Well, guys, thank you for following me through this and seeing the real life ramifications of things like this, and why we need to take these things, pay attention to things like this. Because unlike Candace Owens, who is just having her Truman show or the George and Farmer show, the George and Candace show, there are real life consequences to the actions they take online. And sometimes they want to pretend as if they don't exist, but they do. We have already had a case where someone filed a manifesto. Her name was on it. And she would pretend that she hasn't seen the real link between why someone would decide that they were pushed to such levels by thinking. Maybe take more responsibility. Be much more careful with the rhetoric she pushes out here. But why do that? She has millions of followers. I think her word these days is gospel. Well, that is the gospel according to Candace versus George, chapter Bulletin versus social media. Until next time, guys. Bye.